Hello everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. You join me today on the launch pad as we send this little, well not little at all, is it? This rather large rocket up into the atmosphere where the air is clear so that we can get some tourists to see the sights and get some cash monies because we're running pretty low actually. And that's in fact the beginning of this episode is a little tourist mission. I don't show them to you very much anymore at all. But we have some surprises in store for you today. This is, of course, future me speaking. I mean, this footage is rather obviously sped up. I think this is 6 times speed. Yeah, there's a little bit of a plot twist coming because the game is not working so well anymore. I have way too many mods installed. It is so laggy and so broken. The poor physics engine doesn't know what to do. But I left this clip in because we get some pretty stunning views of that evening line. And of course, there's me time warping around just to complete the time portion of one of the tourist missions. I think we had to take one over the mountains, like certain mountains, and another tourist wanted just to be in orbit for 4 hours. Yeah, so just fetching us about 350,000 funds in total, I believe, which isn't too shabby. And there's us missing the Kerbal Space Center by quite a bit, actually, after trying to land near it. And we land in the middle of the pitch black ocean. And of course, in keeping with the theme of this channel, I make a point of, absolutely never showing you what I'm doing. Because, why would you come to my videos to see what's happening? What's wrong with you? That's so weird. Yeah, for some reason there's a bit of a texture glitch here though, and the sea is completely pitch black. As you can see, boom, there we go, on the surface. Okay, doing a similar mission profile now, we're going to be taking some Kerbals, again, one into orbit and two over the South Pole on a suborbital trajectory, I believe. So we do the same standard orbital insertion, except this time we're going, or sorry, it's not standard at all, because this time we're going into polar orbit, which is quite a bit harder to get to, and this poor little craft actually struggled quite a bit. Your delta V requirements are quite a bit higher. I'm not exactly sure how much higher, but they are indeed higher to get into polar orbit because you don't have the rotation of Kerbin helping you sort of get into a nice gravity turn basically going on. This one you have to do all of the lifting yourself. And there was a nice shot of my desktop because I forgot to edit that out. Whoopsies. But more importantly, look at that. I'm going to call it the Aurora Borealis. I know it isn't on the South Pole. It's something else, but, I don't know what that is. So the Aurora Borealis on the South Pole, absolutely stunning, along with another one of those evening lines that the Astronomer's Visual Pack does so well, even though it absolutely cripples my frame rates, totally worth it, gotta say. Like any craft over 60 frames though, wow, nothing. We get nothing for it. It is just death and despair. No, not fun. Yeah, let's see if we can't land this craft safely. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to Past Me now. Sorry for the background noise, it's kind of rough. Alright, and here we are on the launch pad with our space camper vessel, which I will explain now. We're just going to quickly load all 15 of our glorious passengers onto this rather large craft. It's not small. These are all 3.75 meter parts. The solid rocket boosters here are made out of the procedural solid boosters, which are at 2.5 meters, I believe. This thing has got a lot of parts, and it's going to really upset my game when we make it all the way to the station because that already is on the verge of crashing the game. When we arrive there. I'm not sure what's wrong. I think I need to move this to my SSD because, yeah, it's struggling. Anyway, looking into the specs of the craft here, we have enough space for 19 Kerbals. We have the standard, 2.5 meter pod from the stock game. Then we have this from the Base Pods Expanded mod, which is pretty awesome. Gives us 7 seats, I believe. Yes, as well as 150 electric charge, some mono repellents, standard stuff. We then have the hostile deep space habitation module, which I think comes from Stock Stations Extended, I think. Don't quote me on that, I'm not actually certain, but it's pretty damn cool in there. Let's see if we can't see what it looks like inside. I don't actually know if it has a special, let's have a look, here we go, Lendrid, you're in there. Does it have a special internal texture? Apparently yes. That is quite cramped. He's got a friend, and that's it, and a small little window to look out of. So, yeah, Lendred's not exactly going to be getting the first-class seating on this one, but he will apparently be kept alive in there. Also, I'm not exactly certain what the seating looks like in here. Let's go Lenski. We just went past Lenski. Let's see what he says. Lenski, my man, what does it look like from your perspective? It does seem to have its own texture. Yeah, it does. Look at that. We've got an internal modded, which is pretty awesome. We've got some branding there on the side, some product placement, sponsorship plus cola, whatever that is, sponsorship plus. We got some nitrous oxide, a little bit of UDMH. I don't know why that's inside the crew cabin. That seems like a great place to put that. Very safe. Right next to the oxygen tanks as well. Liquid oxygen tanks, for that matter. Well, it's a great thing that there are never any fires, aren't there? Fantastic. Okay, cool. Well, we've seen the internals. We've seen the externals. I think let's put this thing into orbit. Well, first we have to quick save. Let's just mash that button a few thousand times and then warp round till the station is in place. Let's set as target. For some reason, this thing is classified as a station of its own. I think it's just the sheer scale of it. The game thinks it is a station. We're going to wait till the Atlas station is across the desert in that little gulf there, as we always do. Perfect, and I guess we're docking station to station today, boys. Space camp, it's been coming. Everything's ready. We're going to quick save one last time just to make sure there's no crashes. And launch. Oh god, didn't have throttle on max. Oh boy, oh, this thing's barely got the thrust to weight ratio as it is. That was a bit of delta V loss we couldn't really afford, but we're going to see if we can't make it up to the game. Yeah, very slow off the start here, 8 frames per second. Let me hide the UI, that buys us another 2. And yeah, I'm going to switch over to future me to guide you through this ascent, otherwise we're going to be here for 20 minutes. And of course, here we are firing that rocket up. Continuing to fire that rocket up. It's future me. What's up? I'm doing this post-production. It's never really certain what's going on in these videos until I watch them again. Now we're doing a standard orbital insertion, banking over towards the east, letting Kerbin's rotation pull us in the direction of our future orbital trajectory. We ditch those boosters. They do have parachutes on them, but I can't actually remember if I get them or not. I actually don't know. I'm hoping I do, because, kind of need those to land them. We need the money back anyway. Here's me rather sort of rushing an intercept at the station. We actually get pretty close to an intercept on our launch, which is kind of rare for me. I generally end up having to go into orbit and then tweaking it. But no, we got pretty close and we missed it. So now we have to do it again. Anyway, here is that exact insertion. You can see the station rising there, just below us, coming closer, coming closer. And here comes that little tippet I was talking about earlier, that little rather bizarre glitch we've experienced. Well, it's not that bizarre, is it? It's just sort of a reckoning back to the original days of Kerbal Space Program, when the Kraken was a true beast that one had to contend with. For the Kraken has struck our beautiful station, and it turned it completely jank. Look at this thing. It is bent, it is warped, it is completely out of place. What the hell is going on? I mean, no. What is no? That is bad. Okay. That is as bad as drugs. But it turns out that quick saving and quick loading does absolutely nothing to fix it. So, we're kind of just having to deal with the janky station, which isn't great, gotta say. Yeah, so that's me sort of switching back and forth between the craft, hoping that it'll sort of snap it back into place, and it doesn't, because that's not how the physics engine in this game works, unfortunately. When it's broken, it's broken. You can often sort of quick save and quick load, which, spoiler alert, does eventually work for the station, but for whatever reason, that other solar array has just been ripped off, along with our science lab, man, which is just super lame. I mean, no. We just worked so hard to pull all that up there, so I'm kind of disheartened by this, to be honest. And the game engine has been just getting worse and worse and worse. In fact, actually, I recorded an episode just after this one, in which we launched another craft, and when I quick loaded back to it, it had split in half. And that just keeps happening, which is really problematic. Anyway, here we come in for that tight little docking, and the game freezes for a microsecond as the dock is initiated. You'll see that now. There we go. Oh. And lock the dock, not too bad, and boom! That's right, the station gets ripped in half, because apparently that makes sense. This entire episode has just been an absolute experience in futility. Yeah. There it goes. All that hard work just drifting away. And again, misses me switching, I switch between the vessels just to see if they are in fact separate, and they are, so it's time to quick load. And here we are coming in again. And as you can see now, all the bits have snapped back into place, but we are still missing that solar array and the science lab, which is kind of lame. And, past me, we'll talk about that now. Once we've secured the dock, and we sort of go in for the side dock there, just because I don't want to risk the same port, just in case it was the port. But this is a huge problem, because we actually lost the Kerbal that was in the science lab. He's gone. Just, like, gone. And I checked around, and it's not as though, like, there's some debris. It's a science lab floating around near the station. It's just not there anymore. And it's pretty annoying, because that station was stock, that portion of it, so it's not even a mod issue, maybe. It's just broken. Alright, and after what can only be described as quite a hazardous insert, fighting off the Kraken and winning, we are going to just time warp around until this mission is actually complete. Yeah, we've lost a solar array, which I was kind of banking on to make this work, as well as our fuel tank and little science module, which is very annoying. We've still got the tug, at least. Not that this thing has any way of connecting itself without the tug, so we don't really have the tug. It's sort of preoccupied. We'd have to dock it on one of these side ports somehow, which is, something I can do off camera. But yeah, we are missing a solar array now, which isn't the end of the world. I think if we orient this thing correctly, we will be able to use it regardless. So let's actually point this north. That should ensure that our solar panels are always facing towards the sun, at least to some degree. Of course, we are getting some pretty horrendous lag spikes. Yeah, ever since I installed the new mods, the game has not been behaving too well. I'm not too sure if it's a visual issue or something with one of the new mods I installed, like the actual asset mod. But yeah, the game doesn't love what we're doing to it. By the way, just for context, it took me about an hour to dock this craft with itself, which is a bit insane if you ask me. So we won't be doing any more missions up to the Atlas station anytime soon. The Kraken does not seem to love our inserts, but that's fine, because I actually have a really awesome new craft to reveal in the next episode. So once we are there, I will be showing it off. I'm pretty chuffed with it. It's like a self-contained spacecraft, really. You could just live in there forever. Anywho, let's time warp around Kerbin. We're going to do this in the map view just to save frames. And we need to go... Here we go. Time remaining 39 days. And we will, hopefully have enough supplies to last the entirety of the journey. My calculations suggest that we should. Here we go. We should have 67 days worth of supplies on us. And, of course, we have significantly more than that. Or we have significantly less than that, rather, to last. Yeah, but doing it this way is going to take a while. So we're actually going to go back to the tracking station. Let's just bring it in. Mouse over, Space Center. Please and thank you. Mostly because I'm terrified that the Kraken is going to rip that craft apart the second we spend too much time around it. Not what I'm really looking for, to be honest. And after much finagling, we have finally managed to complete the space camp. That's right. It only took 40 days and plenty of visits back and forth from the tracking station to the Atlas station, because the life support was bugging out and was saying we were running out of electric charge, even when we weren't. But yeah, it's done. It's finally finished. So it's time to warp around until such time as we are near the KSC, and also that the KSC is in the day. I want to land this thing in the daytime, and I almost always seem to land at night, which is the one time the viewership would not be able to see what's going on. So, being the pro YouTuber that I am, I have since learnt from my mistakes. And I'm exclusively going to be landing things in the day, if I can help it. So exclusively is probably a dangerous word to use. Anyway, I'm babbling a lot, and we need to disengage our docking clamps and head out of the map view and see what the hell there is to see. Okay, so let's pop this bad boy off. We should have enough supplies, yes, left in here to keep the rest of these oaks going for a while. In fact, actually, we can use this opportunity to refill some of these... rather depleted tanks on this craft. Where are they? Down there. There we go. That's fertilizer. No, it's not what we need. Are you supplies? Yes, you are. Okay, let's drain from here and fill up this tank on this side. The station definitely needs a little refuel after all the decimation we have done to it. In fact, I would go so far as to say that these Kerbals are rather hungry little bastards, because they have just polished all of the supplies on this station. Like, it is gone. They have eaten everything. I think they probably even... Oh no, those have been reserved. Thank God for it. Okay, anywho, it's time to disengage these docks. And I definitely should have quick saved. Please don't explode. Oh God, what have I done? Whew. And you guys can experience the lag spikes with me. SAS, RCS on. We're going to push away from the station. We are going to have to send one last craft up here. I think we're going to retrieve our Kerbals from this thing because, yeah, until I can work out what's causing that those bugs, I don't really want to leave them on here because I'm pretty sure they're going to die. So let's point ourselves retrograde and just use our monopropellant thrusters to push ourselves out of orbit and into the atmosphere, I guess. Yeah, let's just thrust and see what we can do to that periapsis. Bring it down as low as possible. Not exactly difficult, but is a bit time consuming. We have plenty of monopropellant, so I think, yeah, we will definitely be able to get ourselves inside the atmosphere. And, you know, if push comes to shove, we can always just aero brake a little bit. I'm not seeing the jets coming off the thrusters, but I suppose that's to be expected to an extent. These things don't stash any supplies in them, do they? No. Bit of a shame that. In fact, actually, perhaps we should ditch this lower tank, because we're going to ditch it now into the atmosphere anyway. Definitely should have put parachutes on that in hindsight. Oh well. Okay, now, can we bring ourselves over the KSC? We've got to decelerate quite a bit in the next few seconds to make that work, which is something I don't think is going to happen, to be honest. Let's see, though. Maybe if we ditch that life support module, because we'll be flying a lot lighter then. Yeah, we won't need it for the next few seconds. At least I don't think so. You know what we can do, is while we're doing it, is we'll just transfer from there. We'll transfer that out into there. Right. And from there to there, transfer that in. Perfect. And then we can actually go ahead and ditch this life support module and expose those beautiful ablative shielding panels. Let's also pull in our solar panels before we hit the atmosphere, because that could end very badly for us. How cool are those shrouded solar panels? I freaking love them. I think they look so awesome. Hopefully I never have to launch another one of these space camp craft again. They are tedious to work with because they are just so unbelievably part heavy. Although I'm getting terrible frames right now, and I'm nowhere near anything that should be causing this kind of frame loss, so I'm guessing it's not really parts related, and it's something to do with one of the 6 trillion mods I presently have installed. We're also not going to land anywhere near the KSC, so that dream is gone. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to recover at least most of the money from this thing. It was quite expensive. That this heat shield in particular is surprisingly hefty on the costs. Anyway, we should definitely sort out our parachutes before we plummet to our deaths, and place our drogue chutes here on their own stage. I believe we only have 6 of them. Yeah, 4 and 2, perfect. Okay, cool, coming in quite hot, but I think we'll be alright. We can just do a bit of spinning if we heat up too much. The huge surface area here of our heat shield should protect us from most of the worst of the atmospheric drift. But no, we are getting a bit of drift off to the side there. So oh fudge, I am actually in trouble now. This isn't good. We are entering very hot and in the wrong orientation. Hopefully the reaction wheels inside this thing with the RCS thrusters will be able to point us in the right direction. If not, we're just going to be doing some creative tumbling. Yes, there we go. Let's give the tourists a really good view of their own deaths. Come on, tilt towards it. Tilt towards it. We've got to get this. We are not in the correct orientation for re-entry. But it's not the end of the world. We'll make it. We'll get it done. We'll be alright. Every little thing is gonna be alright. What does that mean? TR? I'm actually not sure. Let's press T. Oh, no. That's like the worst. That's terrain, maybe. Yeah, I think it's terrain. Huh, that's terrain lighting. Where's R? Not sure. Huh. Okay, cool. And despite falling out of the atmosphere in the completely the wrong orientation, we are going to survive, and we can call it an episode after that, I think, once we've seen who has joined our Intrepid space program. Ooh, nearly snapped everybody. No, they didn't black out. Okay, hopefully I didn't just fail that mission because of that. No, I did not. Ew, that was close. I did absolutely knock out my Kerbals, though. Note to self, don't whip them around at, like, 30 Gs. That might make them black out. Woo, they are lucky to be alive, to be perfectly honest. Okay, let's see. We're coming in still at a nice, comfortable 40 meters per second, so we're not going to sit in the atmosphere for too long, because it's a bit tedious, to be honest, and I'm talking through all of this, which I should probably not be doing, but we're doing anyway. And boom, there we go. Okay, coming in at a comfy 3 meters per second. Look at the sheer amount of drag has pulled this craft the wrong way around. Yeah, we're just going to time warp through this, and I will see you guys once we're on the surface. Okay, and here we are on the surface, safe and sound, in a perfectly flat orientation. That's exactly how you want to land in the ocean, is on your side, away from all forms of buoyancy. That's the way it's done, boys and girls. Anyway, let's go to the mission report and see how we did. Alright, here we go, mission summary. We have got most of our parts back, 33,000 funds just from that final capsule, and that's at 75% value. It was quite a pricey payload we sent up there. And here's all our lovely tourists, so let's see who has decided to join our space program. New pilot, engineer, and scientist ready for future missions. That was not worth the effort, to be honest. Oh god, that was absolutely insane. I never wanted to do it again. And we have a new report. Fantastic. We get 16,000 funds. And it looks like everybody's pretty happy with us. 122 and 290, yeah. No, we are, people seem to be enjoying our space program there. But yeah, that is going to be the end of this episode, Space Camp Complete. What a rather anticlimactic ending. I thought we'd be getting significantly more Kerbals than that, but it is what it is. It's finally off the roster. We have a couple more things to get through, but I think what we're going to do is actually push for a young Minmus, or not Minmus, sorry. We're going to push for a quick Evil Moho craft launch for the next episode. In fact, actually, we'll do both, and the episode after that will probably be focusing on the Juno and Mars missions, which will finally be arriving at their respective bodies. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, leave a comment, and dislike if you didn't enjoy it. Cheers. See you next time. Hey guys, Future Me here again, and that's just to quickly correct myself at the end of this video. I say we'll see you in the next one, but I've just been doing some more recording now. Of course, I recorded this episode, and now I'm a week ago, and I'm doing this one now just to get the channel some content, like I said in my update video. And guys, it's just not working. None of the ships are functioning properly. It's all just tearing itself apart. So I think we're going to have to abandon this save, strip everything down, and maybe let Kerbal Space Program get updated. I hear 1.3.1 is coming with a lot of bug fixes, which might help it, but that's going to break all our mods and will likely break the save. So what I think we're going to do is just wait until that update comes out, and then we're going to bring it back. We're probably not going to do the save. We'll do something else, a different type of mission. Maybe do a planet pack type of thing. Probably in sandbox mode rather than career mode, just because it's a much faster paced game. You can, just focus on the exploration and the science, not so much grindy tourism crap, which will be a lot more fun for everybody to watch. So until then, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button or that dislike button if you didn't like it. Leave a comment below. Follow us on all the various social medias. I mean, there's Facebook, Twitter. I've even got Instagram now, so go look at that if you want to. It's under, I think, largely thick as well, just like Twitter. And yeah, guys, I will see you when the series begins anew. Cheers.